Man, what's there to say about the Meze 109 Pro that hasn't already been said? I know this headphone has been out for like a year or so now, and I'm quite late to the party, but as a nano internet celebrity with an extremely high subscriber count, I know you guys are just itching to hear my opinion about it. So here we are. This thing fucking sucks. Oh, sorry, my bad. I was accidentally reading a script for a different review I got on the books. My bad, I got them mixed up. You can't hide from me forever, Soundcore. I'm coming for your ass. Yeah, what I meant to say was, Meze is a headphone manufacturer from Romania who gained notoriety for their superb comfort and build quality. With Meze, you're not just getting a headphone, you're getting a piece of art. In a world full of boring black ear cups, Meze dared to be different with their incredible design and craftsmanship. Also, they're really expensive. They got the 99 Classics, you got the Empyrean, the Elites, the Lyric, and now the Empyrean 2. All beautiful headphones with supreme build quality. A lot of people saw the Meze 109 Pros and just assumed that it was going to be an open back version of the 99 Classic. The 99 Classic is well liked by many music listeners, but other people have criticized it for sounding a bit too bass heavy, especially in the mid bass. But then the reviews for the 109 Pros came out, and the notion that it was just an open back 99 Classic, as it turned out, couldn't have been further from the truth. Reviewers and average listeners are loving this headphone, and so am I. Your boy has a crippling addiction to spending lots of money on headphones, so I knew eventually I had to have one. It was only a matter of time. Something about Meze's design language really speaks to me, and while I'd love to have one of their flagship planar magnetic headphones, them price tags got even my financially irresponsible ass saying, okay, not these ones. I don't know what it is, man. Despite me being literally the biggest audio YouTuber ever, companies don't want to send me things, and I gotta spend my hard-earned dosh on these reviews. Not that I necessarily have a problem with that, but, you know, I got bills to pay. Those 72-pound Costco Parmesan cheese wheels, those cost, bruh. It's a monthly expense. You know, I got this kinda I'll get paid again attitude that my wallet doesn't really vibe with. So a month ago, I pulled the trigger, and I bought a 109 Pro because, damn it, they just looked so cool, and I had to have one. The camera footage you're gonna see in this video doesn't really do these justice. They look way better in person. Are they worth it? Well, let's find out. But before we get into the review, it's time for a word from our sponsor, Rage Shadow. I'm just kidding. They haven't actually sponsored me. I was just trying to spook you. Now, onto our actual sponsor, Raycon. Just kidding. Do you really think an esteemed audio wizard centaur such as myself would stoop to the likes of accepting a Raycon sponsorship? You fool! I've tricked you again! This video is very much a labor of love. All opinions that you'll see here today are my own, and I haven't been paid by nobody to say shit about nothing. Build quality. As with all Meze headphones, the build quality is superb. Everything about this headphone feels premium. Every inch of the 109 Pro is made of high quality materials, making it feel very luxurious even when you're just holding it in your hands. These ear cups are made of a beautiful dark walnut, and the look of it is just so sleek and stylish. I love the metal accents it has. It just looks excellent. Nothing on this headphone rattles, and it's structurally built very well. The majority of this headphone is made of wood and metal, very much in line with every other headphone in Meze's catalog. Again, the design language of Meze, it just speaks to me. One thing I really like personally about this design is on the inside of the ear cup, the driver is visible, with this cool metal grill separating the driver from your ear. Vocal headphones have this kind of thing going on, and it looks like Meze is taking a note from them, which I wholeheartedly support. This looks so fucking cool. Metal supports for the headband with a self-adjusting head strap that sets in the right position perfectly every time you put the headphone on. Couple other things to note. Meze does include this absolutely banger hard case, which also feels quite premium, and I'm super glad that they include one. I wish more companies that make high-end headphones would do this, especially since some super expensive headphones can still have shaky build quality, and transporting them is a nightmare. I'm fucking looking at you, Stax and Hi-Fi-Man. Oh man, it's even soft and lovely on the inside. The other thing is, Meze designed this headphone to be repairable, which is genuinely a great feature, but, you know, I've got to put that to the test. So you know what that means. Let's go over to the workbench. Got my nifty screwdriver here, so let's start taking this apart so we can put it back together again. You know, not many people know this, but I'm actually an expert headphone technician, so this should be a piece of cake. I'm just kidding. I'm actually too scared to do my own maintenance on these. I'm sorry. Don't worry, they're not actually broke. But yeah, I think the fact that Meze had repairability in mind is a great thing. I'm so sick of companies being anti-right to repair, so this is a huge breath of fresh air. Oh, hey, that sentence rhymes. Tenshin Necroprancer, Rap God Arg, let's fucking go. Only thing I have a slight nitpick with is that the cables that they include aren't super nice. They're decent, but not what I was expecting for the price. It was a bit of a letdown. I wanted the fancy spaghetti, and you gave me the great value brand. Meze, what the fuck? You're better than this! And the cables aren't bad though. I was just hoping that they'd be nicer given the $800 price tag. Also, don't eat the cables. I made that mistake earlier and I had to go to the hospital because they just fucking tore up my intestines. It was not a fun time. Don't do it. Comfort. These are insanely comfortable. Like, if you think these look comfortable, fucking, you have no idea. These velour earpads are tremendously soft. They feel like pillows. It's like they just cradle the sides of your head in a warm hug. Being made of hollowed out wood, these are also very light. Good padding on the headband too. And again, self-adjusting headband, which I'm a big fan of. The clamp force on these is noticeable, but it's just enough to give you a nice, secure fit without squeezing your head too much. It really is the perfect amount of clamp force. These are the most comfortable headphones that I currently own, and I can wear these all day with absolutely no problems. I'd much rather be wearing them than not wearing them, and every time I take them off, I get a little bit sad because they just feel actively good to wear. Again, warm hug for your face. Anytime I get home after a long day at work, I really do be looking forward to putting these on and just getting lost in the music until I go to bed. Speaking of music, let's talk sound quality. Meze's flagship planar magnetic headphones such as the Empyrean 2 and the Elite are made in collaboration with a company called Renaro. They're the folks who make the drivers that go in those headphones. The 109 Pro is a bit of a departure from this pattern, as it's their first ever in-house made dynamic driver. And for their first driver, I gotta say, they knocked it out of the park. This headphone sounds incredible. So first, let's talk about the tuning. There are what I would consider to be two different purposes a headphone's tuning tries to do when someone listens. There are headphones that are designed to give you an accurate picture of a recording, like a pair of reference headphones might do, like a AKG K702 or a Sennheiser HD600, for example. Their job is to show you exactly what the recording is meant to sound like with little to no embellishments. And there are headphones that are designed to enhance the experience to make recordings sound more fun and enjoyable. People often refer to these headphones as sounding colored, whereas reference headphones are often described as sounding neutral or balanced. And the Meze 109 Pro definitely leans towards sounding colored, but in a very good way. The bass on these, I think, is their biggest strength. It's rare for an open back dynamic driver headphone to have a really good sub-bass extension, but Meze managed to pull it off, and they did it very well. The bass has a good amount of punch, warmth, and slam due to a rise in the mid-bass, but this rise isn't overdone at all. It's, in fact, very well controlled. It gives you just enough to add a very satisfying amount of bass to a recording without muddying it up in the slightest. The sub-bass also extends really low and makes music sound like it has a lot of depth. It really is impressive because I've never heard an open back dynamic driver headphone before that has a bass shelf like this. It feels like you're getting that really good extension and speed in the bass normally associated with a planar magnetic driver with the punch and slam that a dynamic driver can provide. It's really kind of the best of both worlds when it comes to the bass. One of the tracks that I tested this with is Muse's Hysteria, which is a really bassy track, and that song through the Meze 109 Pros is an extremely fun listening experience. That bass line is absolutely killer. It goes so fucking hard. I was having a blast. Actually, stop watching this video right now and then go listen to that song and then come back. I'll wait. I'll still be here. Welcome back! The next notable coloration this headphone has is in the mid-range. The mid-range as a whole comes across as sounding very clear, but there is a dip in the 1 to 2K region, very similar to the dip that's present on the Sennheiser HD800S. Most lead instruments like guitar, piano, and brass come across as sounding very clear and correct sounding, but male vocals in particular are most affected by this recession. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, more just like a nitpick, because despite this dip, male vocals don't sound veiled. They still sound very clear, but compared to headphones with a mid-range focus like a Sennheiser HD600, comparatively, they're a bit lacking in fullness and richness. Though I also think that this helps with sound staging. Instead of sounding very close and intimate, they sound as though there's some distance between the vocalist and the listener's ear. It sort of creates the sense that he's somewhere in the room with you, as opposed to sounding right next to your head. But still, if you are someone who likes a strong mid-range, this aspect of the 109 Pro's tuning might be a bit of a turnoff for you. So, sorry Frank Sinatra and Michael Bublé fans, I guess the 109 Pro fucking hates you, I guess. It's not like the 109 Pro completely ruins male vocals. They still sound good, but if you like a really warm, full-sounding male vocalist, there's better options out there. Female vocals, on the other hand, sound ace, so if you like a lot of K-pop and J-pop, you're gonna have a super fun time with these. The treble response on the Meze 109 Pro is also quite well done. Most notably, they have very good upper treble extension. This region is very hard to get right, as adding too much treble, especially if it's uneven, can make sibilant sounds like cymbals, S and T's, sound really piercing, and it can feel like you're just kind of jamming screwdrivers into your ear canal. The Beyerdynamic DT990 instantly comes to mind when we talk about that, but you know, I don't want to discuss that headphone. It fucking knows what it did. But the 109 Pro most of the time manages to avoid this. The way the treble is tuned, it gives us just enough treble to add a bit of extra splash to cymbals and airiness to female vocals, and it really is quite pleasant. It generally tends to strike a really nice balance between adding airiness and breath without sounding harsh, but I do find the odd track here and there where cymbals, when they're mixed just a little bit too hot, it can be just a tad too much sometimes. Sound staging and imaging on the 109 Pro is very good. The soundstage on these are pretty wide, though not as wide as something like an HD800S like I mentioned earlier. I'd describe the soundstage on these as being like you have this kind of bubble around your head that's about 6 inches in radius, and all the music sounds like it's coming from somewhere inside that bubble. Instruments go outward left and right pretty far, and it does forward and back imaging pretty well too. Drums in particular are notable because it sort of creates this sensation like they're coming from directly behind you, which is a really cool sound that I can't really describe, and you kind of just have to listen to it to get what I mean. Instrument separation on these is also very good. I have no problems being able to hear individual instrument lines separate from one another. I don't really have too much to say about information and detail retrieval on the 109 Pro because it's also just pretty good. I didn't feel like I was missing anything in the recording, and those small details that would normally get lost in headphones that are aimed more towards everyday consumers stand out really well, and I have no problem hearing them. Mostly I just love that I'm very clearly able to hear the starts and stops of notes. That treble extension also helps out a lot in terms of providing extra detail and crispness as well. The timbre of instruments sound very correct, and this headphone does a good job of sounding very fast and responsive. This headphone is also quite easy to drive, coming in at only 40 ohms at 112 dB. It's very efficient and is easily powered by something like an Apple dongle or just straight out of your laptop, though I do find that its sound quality does tend to scale higher with better amplifiers. Plug it into your Microsoft Zune. Remember the Zune? The Microsoft Zune, the only MP3 player that squirts. Do I recommend it? I feel like this goes without saying, but obviously $800 is really expensive, especially for a headphone. So for the average consumer, I don't think any high-end headphone is a good value. But for those people who are really into high-end audio and you've set some money aside to spend on a premium headphone, this is another story. I absolutely adore this headphone, and it's been my daily driver ever since I got it. The Meze 109 Pro is fantastic. It's a headphone that doesn't seem to miss a beat, no pun intended. Its tuning is excellent. It has very solid technical performance. Its build quality is immaculate. The comfort is next level, and it's very efficient. I think if you want a headphone in this price range and you want something with a more fun sound signature that's also very comfortable, this is definitely worth considering. As of right now, this is my favorite headphone, which is why I feel it's such a damn shame that it still isn't as good as the Apple EarPods. I'm sorry, but the Apple EarPods are just too good. I don't think they could ever be beat. Bye.